Let's talk about the three types of people to make your offer. Number one is there's gatekeepers. And so we're going to go over our gatekeeper script. I want to break it down step by step. And you can find these scripts inside your training under the sales training. And there's several scripts in step one. And then we've got decision maker scripts. So this is making your offer. Now, whether it's a cold call or referral, it's really going to be the same script, the same psychology. The only difference is you'll start out the first sentence a little bit differently. It's, hey, I'm David with so-and-so, as opposed to, hey, my name's David, I'm with so-and-so, and I was referred by so-and-so. So that's really the only difference between the two. And then the third is companies that you're a customer of. These are the three types of people that you want to make an offer to, and I'm going to go over all three scripts with you right now. So let's take a look at script one, which are gatekeepers. So we're simply going to call up and say this. Hi, this is David. Is the owner in? And you'll have the owner's name, hopefully, and they'll say yes or no. If yes, you'll say, can you put me through the owner's first name? So you'll say, can you put me through to Tom? Thank you. Now, this is a very powerful command, very incredible when it comes to neurolinguistics programming. If you say the word please after this, they typically will ask you, well, what's this regarding? But if you say thank you, that's a command, and typically 5 out of 10 times, they'll just patch you right through. So if you want to get past the gatekeeper every single time, these two magic words of thank you are powerful. If they say no, you say this is pretty important. Can I get his email and try and at least send him an approval email? So when you say the word approval email, that's a powerful, powerful word, because it might be their credit report. It might be you got a new car. It might be a mortgage he was approved for. So they don't typically go deeper than that. So when you say, what's his email, you'll get that most of the time. So no, this is pretty important. Can I get his email? I try to at least send him an approval email. What's his email? Thank you. So does he have a direct number or extension I can call later? Can you put me through to his voicemail? So what you're doing is you're gathering information. Now, what I did is I actually did a live call with a plastic surgeon that I'm going to put inside this training, and it's called How to Get a Hold of Someone When They're Not There. And it's important that you ask some very fundamental questions. For instance, when is a good time they're not going to be with a customer? Could you look at their schedule to find a convenient time for me to call that my chances of getting hold of him or her would be really good? So what you're simply doing here is you're gathering your email and asking for a direct number or extension so you can call back miscellaneously and try to get a hold of them. And then, can you put me through to his voicemail? So after you've gotten the information, a direct line, an extension, an email, then you simply want to leave a voicemail. And when you leave a voicemail, it should sound something like this, and it's got to leave mystery and curiosity. And the voicemail simply says, hi, I'm David Sprague with Real Strategic TV, and we're about to do a online review commercial, and we're going to be covering all the costs and actually doing that for your company. We saw that you had a lot of great reviews online, and so could you give me a call back? I want to go over a few details with you, and my number is, and that's it. Don't tell them it's green screen, it's Hollywood style studio. Don't sell. Leave curiosity on the table of what you're really doing. So make sure that when you leave a voicemail, it's all about curiosity. So, but typically when you say, can I leave a voicemail, and they're hesitant about sending you, they'll always, this is when you'll get, so what's this regarding? So just read this word for word. So you're simply going to say, I'm a field producer with Real Strategic TV and or Your Site TV, and we're in the middle of producing a series of 60-second review branding commercials. And because of our production schedule, we've got some extra time to produce a few more commercials. Typically, it would cost about $2,000 to $3,000 to produce. We have an opening and a beta program for small businesses, and we'll cover the production costs. Through a lot of research we found, and then you just choose one of these. And whether it's you've got a good reputation, you don't have any reputation, or you've got a bad reputation, they all work because they all need a video review. So you're qualified to take advantage of the beta program, but I need to talk to the owner to get a few more details so we can sign off on covering the production costs. Now, the only issue I've had is sometimes when, say, you're qualified, this is a big giveaway of sales. Like, you qualify for, a new mortgage, you qualify for a better interest rate, you qualify. So, but it does work in most industries. But for some industries, they get bombarded a lot with calls all the time, like dentists. You might want to take your qualified out and just say, look, in order to take advantage of our beta program, I need to talk. So you can leave that part out if you want. Now, the next thing you're going to say is, can you put me through to the decision maker? Thank you. So what we did is we said, look, can you put me through to his voicemail? Well, what's this regarding? You read this and then say it again. Can you put me through to his voicemail? Thank you. Remember, always put thank you at the end of that. Very powerful. So now the next thing I want to talk about, and let's go back here real quick, is now you've gotten past the gatekeeper. Now let's talk about the decision maker. And the decision maker gets a little bit more detailed because we're setting expectations. But the premise of what we just said is just expounded on. So we'll do the exact same thing. Hey, Tom, I'm a field producer with Real Strategic TV, and we're in the middle of producing a series of 60-second review branding commercials. And because of our production schedule, we've got some extra time to produce a few commercials. Typically, this would be 2,000 to 3,000 to produce, and these review branding commercials, but we've opened up a beta program for a few small businesses, and we cover all the production costs. Now, this is critical. All the production costs. You've got to say all the production costs. And before I go a little bit deeper here, I want you to understand that there's a difference between producing a video, optimizing a video, and syndicating a video. So someone can produce a video, then they go to a marketing person to optimize it, and they go maybe to go to another company that syndicates it. So there's 3 separate projects: optimizing, creating, and then syndicating. And so when you say we're covering all the production costs, is that we're covering everything, or is it one of those 3? And the answer is one of those 3. But this is the power of the irresistible offer, is that they're thinking this is covering all the costs, and now you've got them hooked. And so you just have to go a little bit detailed, and you're going to watch them just go, wow, I want this. So we cover all the production costs. There are a lot of research we found, and again, choose one. So preliminarily, you are qualified to take advantage of the beta program, but I need a few more details before I can sign off and covering the production costs. So remember, we're hitting that hard, covering the production costs. But before I do that, why don't I start by showing you a few review branding commercials. So what we're doing is we'll call it opening a loop. So preliminary, you're qualified, but I need to ask you a few more details. But before I do that, so this is called opening a loop, and what's going to happen is in the back of their mind, they're going to be waiting for questions. But we're going to build value, so we're going to ramp up the value so that when we get to the questions, they're going to breeze right by and be excited to give us the data that we need. So we're opening a loop here, and then we'll close it in just a few minutes. But when you open a loop or open, what they call, sometimes people call it opening a circle, is in your mind, the subconscious needs to complete that circle. So you say, look, I can't wait to tell you this, but first, let me explain this. In the back of their mind, they're like, oh, what are they going to tell me? What are they going to tell me? What are they going to tell me? So you will pay attention to what's being said first. So we're opening a loop. We're saying, look, you do qualify, but I've got some questions to ask you. But first, let me build some value. So before we do that, why don't I start by showing you a review branding commercial that's been produced for major companies like Tesla Motors. Are you familiar with Tesla? Now, Tesla's a fantastic company. Most people know about them. So great. I can show you a few others like Geico. Are you in front of your computer, for example? They say yes. Can you go to Google? Okay, type in the search Tesla Daniel review. Or you can type in others like Tesla Washington, D.C. reviews or Tiffany & Co. Let me just write those out there for you. So here's another few examples here that we've used. Tiffany & Co. And that's Tampa reviews. And then you can use the same one instead of Tesla Motors Dania review. You can say Tesla Motors Washington, D.C. reviews. Reviews is plural. So, all right, so now that you're asking them to do that, say, okay, do you see the review video there? Or we could ask them, what do you see on the screen? What comes up? What jumps out on your screen? And they're going to say, Oh, the videos. Say, go ahead and watch it. It's only about 59 seconds. So you're going to wait and you're going to listen. And you're going to let the video sell them for you. So now this is important. And what I didn't write in the script, in which here, this is really key because people buy when they see themselves in the product. And so what we want to do is we want to command them to see themselves in the product. So before we do that, though, real quick, oh, I opened a loop, didn't I? So there's a couple other things. First of all, they might not be in front of their computer. So you say, okay, can I send you a link in a text? What's your cell? It's a great way to get the mobile. You can use Google Voice as a free text messaging system. So you can just copy and paste a short URL to a YouTube video. Make sure they have a PDA or a smartphone. If they don't have a cell, say, can I send you a link in an email so you can see an example? What's your email? So get their email. And just so you know, we've also done focus groups on this branding reviews. Now, what's really important here is you really don't continue until they've seen the video. So they must see the video at this point. And then as soon as they see the video, a critical question is, can imagine, so here's the command, imagine when someone looks for your business or services, they see that type of raving review about you. So imagine when someone looks at your business or service, they see some type of raving review about your. Imagine yourself having these types of videos. So we start out with the command of imagine. Now next, we really want to just kind of seed plan here. We don't want to brag about our stuff. We just want to seed plan a little bit. And remember, we'll get into this a little bit more in the training when it comes to doing the presentation. But it's really important that you just get a few quick stats out for credibility. And just so you know, we've done focus groups on these review branding commercials, and we found that 70% of consumers said they pick up the phone and call you. Now, don't say call the company they watch. Say call you. You is the most powerful word in marketing. We found that 65% they would refer you to a friend that needs your products and services. These are typically 45 to 60-second commercials that are online and are powerful reputation branding strategies because we use professional spokesmodels. We shoot in a Hollywood-style studio. We professionally edit and brand each video to position you as a market leader. We promote your reputation by highlighting a 5-star review that we've done. And we create primetime graphics and animation, as well as create an on-location view of someone reading about your 5-star reputation. Just the talent alone in studio would be over $2,000 by itself. Make sense? So when they say make sense, they're always going to say yes, and they might have a question, but whatever their question is, you go back to, now I know it might be too good to be true, but before you think that, we'll need a few things for you if we agree to move forward. So now we've built so much value, it's if we agree, not we are going to agree. So we can't let them know and feel like they get this no matter what. They're going to have to qualify for this a little bit more. So in return for covering all the expenses of producing the video, we need 1, 3 referrals of other reputable small businesses that can be a part of the beta program. When we launch this program publicly, it will be about $2,500. So we need to successfully launch this beta with a few more businesses. Sound good? Could you get me 3 referrals? Sure, I could. Yeah. They're saying yes to you. 2 is we need your feedback because the review commercial is part of an overall strategy to help local businesses with their brand, social media, SEO, and reputation marketing, and help businesses to get more customers. We require you to understand how to leverage the review commercial and give us feedback from a form of a quick survey and how a reputation marketing strategy helped you or not. Fair enough? So here it is, right here. You have to get good at saying this and be very casual because this is when you get permission to give them a presentation, and this is when you give them permission to give you feedback. And so I want you to see just, again, the 2 key things. Number 1 is we're asking them, we say we require you to understand how to leverage the review commercial and give us feedback on a form of a quick survey on a high reputation marketing strategy. So we're going to give them a reputation marketing strategy. Remember, we're going to do a pre-production call, and then we're going to do a final sign-off. And the technical sign-off, on both, we're going to split up the presentation into 2 parts. So this is why the 3-step process is critical, and this is why they need to agree that, sure, I'm willing to understand how to leverage this, and I want to give you feedback. Okay. In your script, it's going to be $197. Oh, look at that, $1,297, right? No, it's going to be $297. So option 3, or in 3, what we need is you to cover our syndication costs. So after we produce the review commercial, we can put it online and broadcast it to the major social and video networks. Sound good? Well, maybe not. Explain that again. Well, again, typically production like this would cost about $3,000, and we're picking up all the expenses of producing the video. All we need is $297 to help pay our syndication costs. That's it. And you could even say typically those syndication costs are $500, but we're only charging you a cost of that, which is $297. Sound good? Now, 50% of the time, you're going to get a yes on this. That's how powerful it is. But we've got to go through this process of creating value, showing them the video, asking them if they see themselves, anchoring to companies like Tesla and Tiffany & Co., which, again, those are our customers. Those are businesses we've created review commercials for. So there's a distinct difference. Never allude that these are your customers unless they're really your customers that you're showing off the review video. But you can say, look at these commercials that were created for that company. So just make sure you're always being transparent with your language. Now, before you say yes and approve production, I have 3 important things to ask you. Number 1, what makes you different from your competitors? And just sit back and listen. This is where it goes from a sale to a consult. So what you want to do is now you want to hand control back over to yourself after kind of being out of control by just talking for a while and start listening. So number 1, what makes you different from your competitors? And just listen. And this is the most important to me. Obviously, we want to work with a company that has a good reputation, so I'd like to take some notes. So spend 5 minutes and learn about their business. It's the best 5 minutes you can spend really understanding their vision and their mission and what they're capable of and their services. It really, really helps close the sale by building rapport right here. Now, what makes you unique in the marketplace? What do you do differently than the competition? Really great questions to ask when you're in the middle of question 1. Also, what type of marketing do you do to get the message out? What are you spending a month trying to get your message out? Now, these are really powerful questions. Why? Because everybody's afraid to ask them. But real consultants, real business owners aren't. We want to know the truth. We want honest feedback so that we can do some great consulting for them. So the question is, what type of marketing are you doing to get the message out right now? I mean, we don't want to work with the company and produce a video for someone that's not trying to get their message out. So tell me, how are you trying to get your message out right now? 2 is also, what are you spending a month trying to get that message out? It's a very natural, very conversational question. When you get these 2, you're in the power play mode of being able to take them to a sale. So the second thing we need to know is our pre-production call. We have some deadlines we have to meet, so I need to know that you have an hour available for a pre-production call. On this call, we will give you a brief overview of the review commercial. We'll get your company's branding colors, logo, identify the best review to highlight, and get your social media information for syndication of the video. And at that time, we can get 3 referrals from you and from you on what you think about all this type of exposure and a few other details. So what time can we set that up? So what we're doing here is we're saying, look, on the pre-production call, we're going to get your 3 referrals. And also, if they don't pay you right then and there, then this is a time to get paid. So typically what happens is you're going to want to send a PayPal link or then to pay before the pre-production call. It'd be best as soon as you got the call with them and you schedule this that you send them a link to buy so they can pay. And if by the pre-production call they haven't, then they can do it right when they're on the call with you. And so, so you got the pre-production call. And so what you're going to do in this pre-production call, and again, we have a whole training on this, so don't get so many questions now. This pre-production call is mapped out word for word, slide by slide, everything you need to do to present, everything you need to get information from them. And so let's schedule that. And then the technical sign-off meeting. Second, we have to be finished with production on this date to meet our deadline, which is 3 or 4 days after the production call. We will review the video for technical accuracy for your sign-off on it, and we'll go through a reputation marketing strategy with you that will position you with these review commercials. We'll also get your feedback on the process and a few other details. So this is where you're getting permission to sell them, your core offering. Remember, Rep Videos is just a foot in the door. So your core offering is going to be a whole year of Rep Videos for a ridiculously low price. And you're going to schedule that. So, okay, I've got you scheduled for this for a pre-production call and this for technical sign-off meeting. And that's it. Very, very powerful script. It works if you just follow it word for word for word. And then once you follow it, you get an appointment, then follow the pre-production call and the technical sign-off word for word for word.